Why it's been over 20 years since Maya has sold 1 million records when she was with the major label. Let's take you back decades ago. What really moved you and got you involved in knowing about singer Maya was MTV, was BET. And so the record company enjoined her with, music videos in order to sell their album. Because let's be honest, the Maya album that dropped in '98, that's Interscope's album. It's not Maya's album. She was just the contracted singer on the album. Aside from anything else, she had no other creative input involved in the 1998 Maya album. She's just a contracted singer. Paid very, very little money for the actual sale of the tape. However, she did absorb all of that exposure through all of those music videos on MTV, BET. And so that's how you really found out about Maya. That's how you learned about. That's how you were introduced to Maya. It was impossible to be through a tape. It was more through, music videos. The first album sold a little bit more than 1 million copies. And yes, that was good enough back in 1998. You didn't need 20 million streams. They didn't exist back then. But there were singers that were selling 4 million, 5 million, 7 million. Maya was not one of those singers. When you move to her second album, which would be the last album to even break 1 million sales, that was in 2000, 2001. I think that was the Fear of Flying album, if I'm not mistaken. Because the Mood Ring album that dropped like 3 years later, that only did, that flopped at 400,000. So to date, as it is right now, you being the Maya fan from the music videos 23, 24 years ago, it's been decades. It's been 2 decades since Maya sold 1 million copies. And it wasn't multi-platinum. It was just a one-time platinum with the major labels. It wasn't like, she sold 1 million independently. No. And so saying all that to say this, because some of y'all be like, well, what's the whole point? The point is closing chapters. The closing chapter conversation about Maya Marie Harrison. Should you have closed the chapter on Maya decades ago? Did she close the chapter on you? That's what you need to ask yourself. Maybe she didn't just move on from the major labels. They dropped her. Maybe she dropped you too. Maybe she moved on from you. Maybe she was never a ride or die singer for you. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you want to make sure that you're not holding on to that music video Maya from 22 years ago. That image in your mind. You want to be more Cornbread Earl and me, now things now. Maybe it's past time for Maya the singer to be a closing chapter for you in your life and move on to, to the new singer, to the new experience, the real Mike Wilson.